Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. It's Angela, the Traveling Crafter, and today is one of my favorite videos to do. It is kind of a, it is a compilation of everything I have made over the last couple of months. And what normally happens if you were new here is every time I make a project, I put it into this basket and then I fill it up, and then every 2 months or so, three months or so, I go through the entire thing and see what I have made for my videos and for my journals. And it usually leads to a plethora of ideas all in one video. If you want tutorials for any of these things, they are all on my channel, all listed under playlists like journal cards or unique ephemera or wallpaper projects or unique ideas to use for sewing patterns and notions. So look at the playlist if you want more inspiration. But today we're going to recap everything I've worked on. This is probably from a little bit longer than normal, probably from, I would say, July or August, all the way through December. So in looking at all these, and they're all spread over my desk, if you saw it on the community tab, have probably at least 80 different ideas. I'm going to say 50 ideas, probably with variations, probably 80 or more. So let's take a look. If you're so inclined, you can count how many ideas they are and then let me know in the comments, because I kind of lost track. But we're going to go ahead without any further ado. I'm going to put this one aside. We'll save this for the sewing goodies. The first one, this is a wallpaper project. And these are in no particular order. I'm just kind of showing you. I made these. These are these 3M tabs. And this just basically goes over a page. But then I put just use file folders and put a writing card inside of it. I'm going to attempt to organize these as I go by, like, this will be over the page, maybe more like a belly band type of thing. So that will go in my finished ephemera in that category. And then I made this one out of wallpaper as well. And all my wallpaper projects are in the wallpaper section of the playlist. This one I feel like we might have even done before that. But I used the little leftover plastic bags that I get all of my goodies in. And I added those into this little flip pocket, so you can add all kinds of goodies. And then there's a notebook in here, and this would be great for a Happy Meal gift. Fill it with little trinkies and little goodies and send it on its way. So there you have it. So this would be like envelopes. So do I really want to do that right now? I think I'm going to run out of room, so I'm going to say no. I also did, these are very basic, but I do a lot of things with oversized book page. And if you look, there's a whole book page playlist, and you can see a lot of those ideas. So I did leave these the size of the actual page. And then when I put them into a journal, I'll be able to cut them down. But essentially all this is you're gluing this piece. You can either glue it to another piece of paper and around it for its own, like its own single signature, or you can put it on top of the page like this. And then you can just pull this out. You have all of that to work with. You can write on it. I could have used a blank page as well, but I thought for my gardening journals, these would be perfect. So I whipped up a bunch of those. Like, here's a shorter one. And those take like seconds to create. So there's a bunch of those that can go into and these make great belly bands too. So once you get them in, the size of this one's a little wonky, but once you choose your journal, you can just add them. Instead of doing this little piece, you can just glue it here, and now you have a belly band, and then you pull it out here. So there you have it. Some more little basic ones. These were just with 6x6 paper, and they're just basic little envelopes that can be used. And they're this one is the pocket on the side, and this one is the pocket here. This one I opened up, so there's a little notepad inside of there. And there's a lot of variations. This one I just made into a little notebook. So there's those. What's this one? More notebook. I think this is a notebook too. Yeah. So there's those. So that will go in the notebook sections. These will go into pockets. More book page ideas. Oh, there's some fun ones in here. So this, a lot of times when I'm on the road, if I'm at the camper or if I'm at the lake, I will just use book page because I have them readily available. So there's this little folded pocket that has all of these little tucks in it. We've made these many, many times. There's little envelopes. These, all I did was added, I think, a wallpaper. So this was a wallpaper project, but these are just miniature dictionary page, and I just covered them all with wallpaper, probably laid them all out on a piece of wallpaper and cut them up. And now I have little journaling cards that are handy dandy. So fun, easy projects. This one is one of my favorites, and this is just a piece of book page on a piece of, I think this was a file folder. But what's unique about these is I used the seam binding and I actually wrapped it around as it's intended for a piece of fabric. And then it just makes a beautiful little, and then I glued it and I also sewed it, but it makes for a beautiful little edging on a page. So there's that idea as well. Cute journal cards. All right. So these would be pockets. These would be journal cards. Oh, here's another one that is, this was just a beautiful piece that was in really rough shape. And I think, did I make this into, I think I just covered it with another piece of book page and kind of embraced all of the little nuances of this. So you can use it. You could cover it on the back or whatever you want, but it would make a cute journal card. Here are a couple we made with one of my digitals, and those are in, I think these are in Ko-fi. I don't think they're on the Maker's Market because I think they might be on both. But anyway, you can go to the description and find all of the description box and find all of the links to Ko-fi and to the Maker's Market, where you can get free digitals and paid digitals and all kinds of other things. So these were simple. These were just made out of oversized recipe book pages, and it was from the 50s, and I just loved it. And then I just used these little Polaroid type images from my collection and added them and made them into pockets. So that's pretty fun as well. When I was at the lake, we used the book that had all kinds of ideas in it, and its name is escaping me, and I had all these paint chips. So this idea and this idea came from that book. So there's little bookmarks or belly bands or tags, and then I also did one with this idea using, this is just a scrap of paper, and then fabric, and then I did the same with this scrap and made a little bow in it, and this is a vintage button. And then I just took that paint chip, added a piece of paper to it, and made it into pockets as well. So pretty fun stuff. And easy. Like, all of these are so simple. These we made out of just file folder, and I had recently gotten a bunch of colored file folder. And so I just took some time and made a whole bunch of these. These are ready to decorate, so I'll probably put these in a different place than this one, which is all ready to roll. So I've got a little folio and a little pocket as well. Let's see, let's move this one out of the way. This one I think I did at the lake too, or no, I did this when we were camping. These were just scrap pieces of paper, and I just added some of these oversized pieces that I had with the paper dolls that I've had for a while. I've just used what I had and turned it into something that could be either a belly band or a bookmark. Oh, these are all pockets. We need to put those together. I'm going to move these out of the way because I'm running out of room. Okay. These we specifically made for all of the Prairie Girls journals. So these are just waterfall tags. I've made these on my channel before, but I did do a tutorial again for this one. And here is this one. Sometimes these are hard when I'm trying to hold them, but you get the gist. Maybe. I won't be able to do it with that because it needs to be in the book. Anywhoosies, waterfall tags. So there's another idea for you. So these are great journaling cards as well. What did I do with all the journal cards? And they also make really cute belly bands, but you just have to be a little bit careful you don't get things stuck on there. But you can just glue the top. No, you can't, because if you'd have to glue it right here, because this needs to be able to move. So scratch that idea. That won't work. What are we on to next? Oh, another one of my very favorites is these slow stitching. Now, these are not, I have not backed these. I've just slow stitched them all. But I made them into little houses. These were another Prairie Girls Gather project. So these are all the Holly Hobby ones. I used vintage and antique yo-yos on them, just laces and scraps, and built them up and just used a variety of embroidery stitches to make these. And these were all scraps of little pieces of fabric, quilt scraps. And now I just need to back them and they're ready to go. But I'm going to call these done tags. You could also, instead of, you could use this. I thought this would make an adorable topper. Maybe not put the tab on the top. And you've got yourself a little house. So super cute. Let's go do some of these little things that are on the table. Oops, that are on the table. If you've been watching religiously, you know that I got this fuse tool. And no, I didn't get it. I've had it forever. And I finally busted it out and made a ton of things. So one of the items that I made were these little paperclip dangly bits. And they're all shakers. And these were just, every one of these projects was just so much fun to make. I loved them. So we've got the paper clips. So this can go in with my paper clip. I don't know, these great big ones might take up a whole lot of room. But that was one of the fuse tool projects. I also did some where I turned them into shakers using these little index tabs. That was another project we did. And then I made a whole lot of candy wrapper pockets. So these are some of those that I made. And some of them I made into like bag dangles, or dangles for your journals. Why I was pausing is I was thinking, maybe I need to have a different system for all of these little things. Like I have a place for all of my paper clips, but like I said, these are really big. So you gotta have an idea where maybe I should I have an old right above me that has like little clusters in it, but it's not full by any means. Maybe I find a different place for the clusters and put all little pieces of fun ephemera in there. Recently, we made all of these little envelope paper clips, and this was a 5-minute craft. So simply enough, you're just going to fold it accordingly and add a paper clip to it. And you can undo it and you're good to go. I just undid that one the wrong way. But super fun, super quick 5-minute craft. And there is a video tutorial on that as well. Moving on. I did do these, which these were one of my favorite projects, my little ideas that I were kind of, I saw something and it made me think of swimsuits, and so I made all of those with a piece of scrap that I have, and I absolutely love them for summer journals. I did one of these, gosh, I think I put one in the Seashore Journal, but I did one of these for the Gingham's Seashore Journals. And then when I was making them, I had cut this and I thought, well, that would make a cute apron. So I made some aprons out of that too. I hope I put one of each of these into my template box, because I do that with everything that I make, just so I don't forget. This is a old piece of, this I think came from, yes, this is contact paper, and you can tell it's not in great shape, but when I was doing the Birchwood, which is our rental, what part of our rental house, it's a duplex, this was on the shelves, and so I saved some of, I think this is one of them. So I saved this and made those little items out of whatever I had left. I also did a little side pocket, and this was a leftover piece of paper that was already cut this way, but for some reason I had punched a bunch of holes, probably for another project. And so I just embraced those little holes and looped them through and made them into a little embellishment for my side tuck. So I thought that was kind of fun as well. I'm going to put that in. We're just going to take 2 of these and make sure I have them in my templates. These were a make more of project. So I made these a long time ago. This is one of my digitals as well. And let's see, and on this one, I just made these so they could open up and you could write on them. And then there's a pocket right here. Let's get a piece of paper out. A piece of paper would be good. So there's a pocket here, and then you flip it over and there's a pocket right here. And so I needed to make more of those. I'm going to put this back into my template box. I just did these one day. What I love to do, maybe some of you do this too, when I have a day that I want to spend with the kiddos and Dave, here's another iteration of this is glued down. I'll just take a bunch of paper, mostly I take book pages, and I just see how many things I can create with what I've got. Oh, I made this one into a pocket. And then 3 pockets here. So these are just variations of the same thing. So now I can put those in my stash and have them ready. I should make more of them, but because they're really fun to make. And next up, I just did some loaded pockets. I think I made these when I was in Clear Lake too, all with scraps. So all of these little things inside of here, I don't even know what's in here, were out of all of the scraps that I had lying around. What is something stuck in there? Oh, it's a double pocket. So all of those went in the pocket, and then this is a pocket here, and this is a pocket here. So fun. And the same with this one. It's the same thing. But I love doing these little stuffed pockets. I need to go through all my finished ephemera and make some Happy Mail goodies, or at least things to send when my friends purchase from our live sales or from the Makers Market. So there's those 2. We're about halfway done, friends. Let me move some of these things down so they're closer to me. All right, we have some more little things that I'll show you in a second, but let's look at some of the big ones first. Oh yes. Here's some basic ones that were just book page, but I love, this is a good example of just using really bright pages. Some of the things that were on it I wasn't in love with, but I loved the look of this. All I did is shored the page up, punched a hole in it, and it's now a pocket. And I made this one into a journal card. And then again, more book pages. These are ones that I do usually when I'm on the road. These are all little Richard Scarry. Gosh, how many different options are there here? All kinds. I used really simple pieces like this. Could be a side pocket or a tuck. This one I made into a folio that could be glued onto a page. Here I turned that one into a tag. This is just going to be either a pocket or even a journal card. I did nothing to it. But just some examples of how you can use your book page images. And then I even saved, this is the front of the book, but look how rough that was. So I just kept that, and I thought, oh, I could use it on the inside of a book. It would be super, super cute. I love playing with book pages. Okay, another one of the Make It More, and I do have this template, and I made these at the lake as well. And so this is a belly band, but on top of it, and these are obviously paint chips. So is this one. But then you can open this up, and you have writing space inside of here. I won't take the whole thing out, but really fun. And then I think this, yeah, I glued this totally down, but I think on some of them that I made them so that I could put things behind them as well. And then just to kind of layer it up and add dimension, I added another piece of paper on top of it. And here's another variation where I made it even with the page. Fun, fun, fun. Okay, let's get into some sewing notions and patterns. This I did, gosh, it feels like I did this a long time ago, but this was something that I used these slip straps for, if you remember Mission Impossible with Carol and Jonna and Hazel, one of the things that they got in their packages were these slip straps. So I just took the packaging and turned it into a shaker, used some images from a pattern. These are like jammies. So in my slumber party journal, I will use this. And then I just added the slip strap and a little snap on it to bring it all together. This was just the directions on a paper. And oh yes, what did I do on this? Why is this upside down? Is it supposed to be together? I guess I did it on purpose that way. I don't know, but this is, oh, obviously it would be upside down because this is one piece. Okay. So there was that one. This one is just another envelope that I just covered because I thought it was cute and I didn't want to get rid of it. So I thought it could go around a page. I could turn it into pockets, or I could just clip it onto a page and somebody can write inside of it as well. Well, I'll save that one and that one. These are my favorite. Well, not that you can't see them. This is just this was from one of Madonna's books, English Roses. So I cut out this part all together, and then I covered it with I had some yellow tissue pattern, and then I put all of the little girls on there, and I just loved it. And then this was the top of the pattern paper as well. This is a piece of vintage wallpaper. This I created into an actual, it can be a folio or just writing space, but this is embroidery pattern. These are some of my most fun. You can probably tell I get a little carried away. I do try whenever I can to embrace some of the beauty of the things that I have found, the ephemera that I have found. And so this is just a little cluster and these two beautiful ladies, and I thought it went all cute together. And another one that is one of my favorites. This was a pocket. It had the embroidery paper in it. So I made a journaling card out of this. And again, these are all on the channel. You can go through the playlist. These will all be on unique. I think I might have changed the title of it, but it's all sewing and sewing notion ideas. And then I had this vintage doily, some ribbons, and then another. I just clustered all these together to make it all pretty. Oh yeah, and I backed it with a rando piece of book page because this was real flimsy. This one was fun. I took in one of my pattern items, I found someone had been making, and this happened a lot, they used what they had. They would use newspaper to make their patterns for quilts, for clothes and such. And this was one for I think a grandma's garden, maybe. I'm not sure. But I took this and bolstered it up and then added the gingham here to make her dress. Added a little lace at the bottom. And then I reinforced this little piece that was from like one of, it was from another pattern. And made her into this adorable little paper doll. And then finally, one I really love to work with is the zippers. And so this is just a zipper pocket. It does work, actually. I'm not going to move it. And then inside of here, I made this as a belly band with the rest of the zipper. And I used the pattern to make a journal card, an oversized journal card. And this piece right here is another piece of vintage wallpaper as well. I think this was gifted to me. Pretty sure. From Sarah... I think from Sarah Lee. So those are some of my favorites. All right, we're on the home stretch here. We'll do all of the rest of these larger ones, and then we'll go to the little bits that I have left. Okay. We'll make that a little bit too. All right. Here's a really basic one. These I made a ton of, and I had realized I have a whole stack that I need to make more of. But these are just 6x6 piece of paper. You fold the bottom up, and you cut out one corner of it, and now you make it into a policy envelope. So I made a lot of these, and these are two of the ones that I have not yet put together, but these two are finished. So easy peasy. Here's an example of just using if you have flashcards, and this is the stuff that you get around flowers, like that my flowers come in, so I covered that one. This one is just vintage writing paper. This one's one of my favorites, and I did not cover that one. This one was out of a book, and I did color that in and left that. And then I think these are all, like some of them are backed and some of them are not. But these, I didn't have ink with me when I don't think. And so I just used watercolor and made the border, if you will. So these are all ready to embellish. So these are going to go somewhere different than these. This we did a video on. I just used, these are all die cuts that I had left over, and I just embraced whatever was on there and made them into something. Again, one of those things that I was like, let's use it up. Let's do something fun with it. So you can turn them into pockets, into tags if you wanted. These were just rectangles, so I thought this was cute, and it could be turned into, like, you could put a little photo on there, but it looks a little bit like a Polaroid. It was wonky. I didn't mind that. Same with this. This back piece was what I stamped off all my stamps on, so it was just a piece of scrap as well. More of the ones with the squares. These were fun. This I had cut out on my Cricut. I don't know exactly how I'm going to use these yet, so I left them large. But this is one of my digitals that I printed on vellum, as is this. No, this is not. This is vellum, but this is one of my, I just stamped on it. And then laid this on top of it. But what would you guys use these for? I just think that they're really fun, and there's lots of things I can do with them. Plus, I love the sound, you know? All right. And then I had all of these. These were, they actually can stand up. They were just like a card that you would put like your Christmas picture in. And so I had all of these that I just turned into fun little pockets. But you could use them for what they're intended. And, well, I can't use that one because I did it upside down. But the rest of them. And, you know, set them up and for display if you wanted. And I know I'm going quick through that. That's the whole intent through these. That's the whole intent of this video. But it gives you an idea if you have some things that you want to do that you can peruse all of my playlists and find some of those that intrigue you. Here's one with a band. These are very similar to the ones I showed you earlier. I just did different iterations, turning them into tags. And this we haven't done so long ago, I don't think. And then finally for large things, these were just, again, book pages. And I had, this was an antique book, and I just used what I had lying around. Sometimes, not sometimes, all the time, when I'm on the road and I only have limited items, I find that my creativity is much greater, and I can just embrace it. So I tend to come up with some more fun things. These I did a long time ago. These were the basis for creating these. I wanted more of these. So I will put one of these in with my templates, and then I've got this one. But I really like this. This was one video I did on using book page as well. Before we go on to the smalls, if you didn't see the video on Don't Toss It, ways to use your wrapping paper, I talked about it at the beginning of this video. All of these are things that we made, and I think there's at least 10 different things that I made. The tags I talked about are obviously gone because they went on the packages of my family members. Oh, here's one. But we made all of these different little fun things with very little effort. We saved the wrapping paper, and we even made bows. So, and I even made this. So I can use that as a gift bag. So check out that video. It's very fun. It's not, well, actually, it's one of my longer videos. I didn't realize it was going to take that long, but I think you'll enjoy it. Now, last but not least, I'm going to start with that one so I don't forget. A while ago, I worked with felt, and all I did was covered a bunch of hair clips, which I do a lot because I used to make hair bows and such back in the day for Demi, and I also sold a lot of them, hats, bows, tutus, you know, things like that. So I just used scraps of felt that I had and made little clips for my journals. All right, let's get the little ones up. Here's another idea. If you've got some Legos, I just drilled holes in these. These are all ready to go to make into charms. We made these the other day. This is a idea that was an inspo from Crafted by Christy. These are all from stamps, digitals, and new and vintage tape measures that I had. These were one of my favorites. I turned bottle caps into shakers, and I only have a couple of them. I did a bunch of Sesame Street ones for my Sesame Street journals, so those are in another locale at the moment. This summer, I got these little pieces, and I turned them into a lot of things, but I just have these two little dangles. What are these called? I can't remember, but I think I might have glued all them. So, no, I didn't. Do you hear them? Oh, gosh, I almost lost that one. So I love these. I have a whole thing of these. I don't have any here, but I have them at the lake. This is, I don't know how this ended up in here. It might be a make more of project, and that's why I had it in there. So I think I'll stick it back in the basket. But this has a magnet on it, and I have done, it's under the unique ephemera, but I've done a lot of projects using old vintage ties, and this was a remnant of a tie. So if you want to know how to do those, and I'm sure that's why I had that in there, because I want to make more of them. Back to the fuse tool. Here's some more shakers. We did, all these are our page protectors, all three of these. And then this one is a sleeve for a scrapbook piece of paper, or a scrapbook. And then I also used that little piece on there. And then finally, we did these little dress forms that can be used for tags. My intent of using these was for wrapping lace or washi or whatnot around them so I could give them as gifts. So they're not done. They don't have the tag in them yet. So these will go into my finished ephemera. And let me just look here and make sure I'm not missing anything. I don't think I am. Last but not least, another one of my favorites was when I was at the camper, I had a little bit of washi, and I just started creating, and I can't remember how many things that I created with this, but go check out that video because it was so much fun. And every single one of these has washi tape in them. It's a great use of your stash. I need to use my washi tape way more than I do, and this was a good way for me to do that. Every one of these have washi tape, and they're so diverse. Like, you know, all the styles, they're not, look at the little mousy. These were a really fun project. Oops, the mushroom's upside down. So I hope you enjoyed today's recap. And like I said, you probably have 80 plus ideas that you can try. We're going with 50 plus ideas just to be safe, but I know that there's way more than that. And now I need to go put these away and get on my way. And hopefully the fog has lifted, so it will be a nice, smooth trip. Thank you for joining me. Tell me what your favorite part of today's video was. We will see you next time. And until then, I appreciate you very much. Remember to take some time for yourself just to be. We'll see you soon. Cheers.